All right, my name is Miguel Cristobal. People call me Mike. They've called me Mike since I was little. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank the Instituto Internacional for allowing us to have this space. Okay, so what is emotional intelligence? Look at that definition. Definition says it's a form of social intelligence, okay, that involves the ability to monitor one's own, okay, notice, one's own emotions and other people's feelings. We're not talking just about our emotions, we're talking about other people's emotions also, to discriminate among them, to make sure that we know what is my feeling and what is your feeling. We very often tend to confuse that. And then we need to use that information so that we can interact with our environment. Being emotionally intelligent means knowing your own emotions, managing those emotions, to motivate yourself to do what you want to do, something that is very popular now in these times of crisis. Everybody wants to motivate themselves to survive. Recognizing the emotions in others, yours and theirs, in order to handle relationships, in order to handle the fact that we are in a social world. I know of a university here in Madrid who did a study to find out that the people that were at the top in terms of intelligence, in terms of IQ, end up doing okay in life. The people that were in the middle in terms of intelligence end up doing very well in life, and the people that were at the bottom ended up at the bottom. I mean, intelligence, academic intelligence is also important. Goleman says that it's about 20% of how well you do, but it's not the only thing, right? Sometimes we have instinctive emotional responses. They're automatic. They're what they call the 3 Fs. F for flight, F for fight, and F for freeze. The automatic response is one of all the adrenaline and everything going, the blood going to all your muscles, so that you can fight with somebody, or so that you can run away to protect yourself, or some people actually just freeze and they don't seem to be able to do anything. Those are the first ones to die, obviously, okay? The automatic response is fight, flight, or freeze. Emotions is something that we are not very aware of, that we don't really think about it much, and we definitely do not talk about them, but they are there. You know, for many years, psychologists and studies have been thinking about the cognitive part, about what we think, about how we interpret reality. But that cannot be done unless we take into account the emotions, unless we, have those feelings that are so automatic, bring them to the cortex and think about them so that we can give out the response that is appropriate and that makes us succeed in life, okay? All of those things are emotional intelligence. And here you get a bunch of psychologists and they put it like that. Look at it. Emotional intelligence is, number one, let me start with the red, self-perception. How do you perceive yourselves? We go to the orange and we have self-expression. Once we know who we are, we can show it to other people. So that when we express ourselves, we relate to other people. It becomes the interpersonal part of emotions. Okay, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about empathy, about living with other people and giving ourselves to others. And this new concept that is even in companies now, social responsibility. We should go beyond doing things for ourselves and into helping others and doing things for other people, because happiness has a lot to do with being socially responsible. Okay? Emotional intelligence also has to do with making decisions, with solving problems. Okay? It also has to do with managing your own stress, with controlling yourself when you are impulsive and you want to react. All right? All of this is emotional intelligence. And it all begins with knowing yourself, with knowing what is good about you, what are your strengths and skills, and what is not so good about you, okay, your areas of weaknesses, so that you can work on improving that. People out there have needs, okay? There are other needs, all right? And if you do everything that everybody wants, you become passive. You are not able to say, no, that's not what I want. You go somewhere, they give you the wrong change, and what do? You say, oh, you go with the wrong change home. You know? If it's more, you maybe return it, but if it's less, you go without it. Okay? And then is your needs. Okay, my need is that I want to park here, but it's somebody else's park. And I go and I push myself into there and I kick somebody out and I defend my needs. I'm being aggressive. If I only take care of my needs, I'm being aggressive. If I give up my needs and just take care of other people's needs, and some people do this in relationships, you become completely passive. What we want to do is we want to be assertive. We want to find win-win situations where we both, your needs and my needs, are met. And if we're able to do that, we're able to relate better to other people. Being assertive, it's probably the easiest skill of all the ones that have to do with emotional intelligence to be learned. This is another one, and this one has to do also with interpersonal, with relating to other people. That's Buddha. Buddha said, see yourself in others, then to whom can you hurt? What harm can you do? Empathy is a skill that for some reason we seem to have lost. Okay? It's the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay? Now, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes doesn't mean, well, if I were in your situation, this is what I would do. No, no, no. It means you put yourself in that situation, understand what they're going through, how they are, what their personalities are like, and then come up with, suggestions about what they can do. It's not the same thing. Okay? Putting yourself in somebody else's shoes is not just, these are the circumstances, this is what I would do. No. You need to understand the circumstances of that other person. So, in order to, if we're able to empathize, we would have a much better way of relating to the people. Okay? Recently, I've read a book also, giving you skills to deal with things and to be emotionally intelligent. Recently, I read a book about non-violent communication. That actually I read that they're using it, to make the Jewish and Arabs negotiate. It's very easy. When you talk to somebody you love, okay, first you make exact descriptions. You don't give evaluations. You don't say you're lazy. You say you've been in the sofa for 3 hours now. That's a fact. No? You're lazy? No, I'm not lazy. But you've been in the sofa for 3 hours? Yes, you've been. If it's been 3, because women tend to say it's been 3 when it's been 2. Okay? So now, you work it out and you state the fact. Then, second, you talk about how you feel. You help the person empathize with you. When you're always in the sofa, I feel like I am alone with everything at home, and I can't handle everything, and I feel really sad and really like you're not with me. You're talking about how you feel. That doesn't make anybody mad. It helps them understand why something is bothering you. And then number 3, you say what you really would like to happen. Because we very often don't say it. We just go and say, oh, you are lazy and I hate you. You've been in the sofa for 2 hours. That makes me feel like and then you go specifically, I would like you to take the trash out. It's very hard to have a fight about that. Okay? It's non-violent communication. Try it with everything you do. Okay? It's a perfect way to handle emotions. Let me finish by saying something from The Art of War. Knowing others and knowing oneself is 100 battles, no danger. You're going to win. If you know yourself and you know others, everything is going to work out. Not knowing the other and knowing oneself, 2 fights, one I'll win, one I'll lose. And if you don't know yourself and you don't know others, what does that mean? In every battle, you're going to lose. So this is all about knowing yourself, okay? Knowing the other one, separating what's mine and what's from the other person. A lot of people cannot do that. They mix both, okay? And if you go around doing those things, and there are things that can be learned and can be worked, okay? Don't expect to be, changing is difficult. It takes some time. If you do those things, you'll be fine.